Welcome to FooDooloo, where we know what we chew. When we think of food, our minds often drift toward delightful memories of meals shared with loved ones, or dishes that excite our taste buds. However, the culinary world isn't always filled with gourmet delights. History is peppered with dishes that have left diners horrified, nauseated, or simply confused. In this exploration, we delve into some of the worst meals ever created, where creativity went ugly and taste took a back seat. Let us know what you'd like to see next by leaving a comment below. Also, remember to hit the like and subscribe button while you're at it, too. Number 1. The infamous Kiviaq. Kiviaq is a traditional Inuit dish in northern Canada that stands as proof to the extremes of culinary innovation driven by necessity. Made by fermenting ox, small Arctic birds, inside a hollowed-out seal carcass, Kiviaq is left to age for several months under a pile of stones. The end result is a pungent, decayed concoction that would challenge even the most adventurous eaters. While Kiviaq was a means of survival in harsh Arctic conditions, it's undeniably one of the least appetizing dishes ever created. The strong, ammonia-like smell and the jelly-like texture of the birds are enough to stop anyone who isn't accustomed to its taste. Number 2. Hákarl. Another fermented horror is Hákarl, an Icelandic dish made from the Greenland shark. The shark's flesh is toxic when fresh, so it undergoes a fermentation process that involves burying it underground for 6 to 12 weeks, followed by several months of air drying. The result? A dish with a strong ammonia scent and a taste that has been compared to rotten cheese or urine. Hákarl is often served in small cubes due to its overwhelming flavor, which has been described as a challenge even for the locals. It's a dish that has found its way into many worst foods lists, and it's not hard to see why. Number 3. Casu Marzu. Sardinia, Italy is home to Casu Marzu, a sheep milk cheese known for its live maggot infestation. This rotten cheese is intentionally allowed to decompose and become infested with the larvae of cheese flies. The maggots help ferment the cheese, breaking down the fats to create a soft, creamy texture. While Casu Marzu is a traditional delicacy in Sardinia, it is not for the faint-hearted. The cheese is often consumed with the live maggots still wriggling inside, adding an extra layer of horror to an already unsettling dish. The European Union has banned its sale due to health risks, but it remains a coveted taste experience for the bravest of food adventurers. Number 4. Surströmming. Surströmming, a Swedish dish made from fermented Baltic herring, is notorious for its powerful odor. The fish is fermented in barrels for several months before being canned, where the fermentation process continues. The resulting stench is so potent that surströmming is often eaten outdoors to avoid contaminating indoor spaces. Opening a can of surströmming is an event in itself, often compared to a bomb going off, releasing an overwhelming smell of rotten eggs, vinegar, and a hint of ammonia. Despite its reputation, surströmming has a dedicated following in Sweden, where it is traditionally eaten with flatbread, potatoes, and onions. However, it's widely considered one of the worst-smelling foods in the world. Number 5. Century egg. The century egg, or pidon, is a Chinese delicacy that might surprise those unfamiliar with it. It's made by preserving duck, chicken, or quail eggs in a mixture of clay, ash, salt, and quick lime for several weeks or months. This process turns the egg white into a dark brown jelly and the yolk into a creamy, dark green or gray mass. While century eggs are loved by many in China for their rich, umami flavor, they are often off-putting to those who are not accustomed to them. The strong sulfuric odor and the appearance of the eggs make them a challenge for first-timers. What might be a gourmet treat for some is often seen as one of the most revolting meals by others. Number 6. Jellied moose nose. Canada has its own entry into the list of questionable dishes with jellied moose nose. This traditional dish involves boiling a moose's nose until the meat and tendons separate from the bone. The mixture is then spiced, cooled, and allowed to set into a gelatinous form. While this dish is part of indigenous Canadian cuisine, it's far from appetizing to the uninitiated. The sight of a congealed nose, complete with visible tendons and skin, is enough to turn many stomachs. However, for those who grew up with it, jellied moose nose is a cherished, albeit unusual, culinary tradition. Number 7. Fried tarantulas. Fried tarantulas became popular in Cambodia during the Khmer Rouge regime when food was scarce. These large, hairy spiders are fried whole, often with a little salt and garlic, until they become crispy. While they were once a means of survival, fried tarantulas have since become a popular street food in Cambodia. The thought of biting into a spider, complete with its legs, fangs, and hairy body, is enough to send shivers down many people's spines. The texture is often described as a combination of a crunchy exterior with a gooey interior, especially when the abdomen is filled with eggs. While some find them tasty, for others, fried tarantulas represent the ultimate culinary nightmare. Number 8. Balut. Balut is a Filipino delicacy that consists of a fertilized duck egg incubated for 14 to 21 days before being boiled and eaten. The embryo inside is partially developed, complete with bones, beak, and feathers, which can be a shocking sight for the unprepared. Balut is typically eaten with a pinch of salt and a splash of vinegar and is often served as a street food. While it's a beloved snack in the Philippines, it's one of the most controversial foods globally. The idea of eating a developing duckling is off-putting to many, and it's often listed among the worst foods due to its graphic appearance and intense flavor. Number 9. Milt. Milt, also known as soft roe, is the seminal fluid of male fish, typically cod, herring, or salmon. It's considered a delicacy in Japan, Russia, and parts of Europe, where it is often served raw, fried, or grilled. For many, the thought of consuming fish life juice is revolting, making milt one of the most unappetizing dishes in the world. Its creamy texture and mild flavor might appeal to some, but for others, the idea alone is enough to turn their stomachs. That's enough for now. The world of cuisine is vast and varied, with dishes that range from the sublime to the downright terrifying. The worst meals ever created are a reminder that taste is highly subjective, shaped by culture, tradition, and personal experience. While some of these dishes are beloved in their native lands, they remain culinary nightmares for others. Whether driven by necessity, tradition, or sheer curiosity, these meals challenge our perceptions of what food can be, often pushing the boundaries of edibility to their limits. Thank you for joining us on this delicious exploration. Stay tuned to FooDooloo for more culinary adventures, tips, and recipes by hitting the subscribe and notification bell. Remember to comment what you'd like to see next and hit our like button. Until next time, bon appetit!